Hi friends, welcome to the next video. In this video we're going to be talking about beat displacement. Okay, so the first thing you want to think about is this is not metric modulation, okay? Metric modulation is something else. It's when the time actually changes to another time signature, okay? This is what you might consider, well, just beat displacements or time illusions, something like that. Okay, so one of the main issues is when your ears get attached to the voices, they tend to pull you in the direction that you're used to hearing them. So if you're used to hearing the bass drum on 1 and 3 or whatever, something like that, then you're gonna hear the bass drum always on the 1 and 3. Okay, you want to detach your hearing from that as much as possible. The snare is going to want to pull you on 2 and 4 if you're used to hearing it that way. And okay, so we're going to have a little bit of exercises to solve those problems, all right? The first thing you want to do is, of course, start out simple. So you're just going to play a real basic beat, 2 and 4 on the snare, 8th notes on the hi-hat, and the bass drum is going to be displaced by a 16th note every time. Now remember, maybe you can do this, but the point is to start hearing different subdivisions with the different voices on the kit. So it's just going to sound like this. We're going to go through the E's, okay? We're going to play on the E's, the bass drum now. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to play on the ands, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to play on the does, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you should be able to do that comfortably and maybe go from playing on the 1 to moving all those around. So I'm just going to do a short example. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you should be able to do that comfortably. Now the next thing to do is move the snare drum, okay? The snare drum on the E, the ands, and the does. Now, as a first step, you might want to just switch the roles around, play the snare drum on the 1 and the bass drum on the 2, just to, you know, mess up your hearing, okay? Start to break away from the voices being attached to the subdivision. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the next thing you want to do is start moving the subdivisions, okay? So we're going to play the E's, first E on the bass drum, the second E of 2 on the snare, and like that. The hi-hat is always going to maintain 8th notes on the downbeats, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now move to the ands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now move everything to the does, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that is probably your first step. Now, I know you're going to want to say, well, how come you're not moving the hi-hat to the E's as well? You can, but I think in music, when you're playing music, the most important thing is to not lose the band. So if you have something that anchors the time like this, it's probably a good idea. Now, you can also do variations of this, okay? So if you take a simple, like kind of a rock beat, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you move it, okay, to the first note on the bass drum starting in the E, then you have a nice little variation, a beat displacement. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, that's already sounding very, very interesting. The thing about this is, again, separating your ear from the voices on the kit. Once that starts happening, you can be more free with what you're going to play. Now, of course, we're just doing binary phrasing right now. To really be free, you have to understand rhythm. And what we use in rhythm is the 3-bar cycle, groups of 5, 7, 9, all kinds of rhythmic motifs like that, okay? Now, if you don't know what the 3-bar cycle is, I highly suggest joining the lesson site and studying this, because it's an essential phrase coming from the United States, and basically a lot of the music, especially jazz, fusion, fills and rock, you know, and in a lot of styles and music from the States, you have this piece of vocabulary. So it really is an essential thing, or else you're always going to sound binary, and that's not what pro players sound like, okay? So I'm going to do something with the 3-bar cycle so you'll hear it again. This is the basic 3-bar cycle. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, okay? The bass drum's going to take the phrase and eighth notes. 1, 2. Now, based off of that, I'm going to start displacing the phrases, okay? The voices have to be independent from your ear again. The basic thing in that phrase is the 3-bar cycle. You have your permutations, you have your melodies, the different melodies. So it's really a profound study and something you got to get into if you want to get into this free, open type of playing, or else you, like I said, you're just going to remain a binary player the rest of your life. And it's not about licks, it's not about patterns, it's about rhythmic phrasing that you incorporate into the very time that you emit from your body, okay? Through the study of rhythm, you emit the time. It's not about patterns, okay? It's not about beats. It's a free-flowing, open consciousness of rhythm, all right? The voices and everything are going to want to push you and pull you, but that's on purpose. But if you have a solid foundation in the rhythm, you'll be fine, okay? Now, another thing you can do is, of course, groups of 7, groups of 9 and 5, and, you know, a wide variety of things. So I'm just going to play for you a little bit so you can get an idea of what it sounds like again. All right, I'm going to use groups of 5, 7, and 9 now, okay, along with the 3-bar cycle. 1, 2. Okay, I could go on and on and on with that type of phrasing and never run out of ideas. Okay, I'm always basing my playing off rhythm and not licks or patterns. Okay, so with that in mind, always remember that beat displacements are just displacements, not metric modulation. If you're playing a piece of music and the meter changes, then your job is to set up that meter change and go into the new meter. Okay, so there's a common misconception about what that is. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, the lesson site is waiting for you. $250 gets you into the full year program with support from me, email, WeChat, Red Note. We're in Asia, we're in the United States, we're in Europe, we're everywhere. Or you have the Elite program, and you have hand consultations, and of course you have a lifetime membership. For $500 gets you a lifetime membership. All right, my friends, thanks for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out. Hi friends, I'm here to tell you about an exciting new program I have on my lesson site. It's called the Elite program. In this program, you're going to be working with me very, very closely while I guide you through the entire site. The Elite program, why do I call it that? Because I'm searching for the most dedicated people to study this material. If you want to be a professional drummer, you're gonna have to change your life. You're gonna have to put drums ahead of everything. And I'm here to make sure that that decision is something that's gonna benefit your life in the most positive way it can. Some websites have guest artists that come in and show you some stuff for about an hour, and then they leave and you never hear from them again. You're stuck with the guys on the site that may or may not have much experience at all. In this program, you're going to be working with me directly, 3 hours a day for an entire week online, okay? We're going to be having conference online, video conference, 3 hours a day for a week. In this week, I'm going to guide you through everything, prepare you. I'm going to watch you play. I'm going to watch you practice. We're going to work together on things in the moment, okay, which is very important. Now, why the price, you may ask? Well, an online video session with me usually costs $270 for 2 hours. A private lesson with me in New York costs $100 an hour. A lot of guys charge a lot more than $100, maybe $200, $300 an hour. My price is $100 an hour. I think that's fair. So if you take that many hours with me, okay, 7 times 3, that's 21, that's $2,100. The price of the course is $1,900. So you're already saving $400 by doing it this way. $400 savings. Plus, you have the full year membership to the site with email support, Skype support, and everything else. This unique study situation has been brought about by the technology we enjoy today. Before, you would have had to travel to New York, hang out with me, come to my house, have all those expenses of going to New York, which many guys have done. But now we can do things in a much more, let's say, efficient basis, more economical, and a way that you can be constantly in touch, not only having me in New York there while you're there. Okay, so this is, I think, an amazing opportunity to study. I've taught at some of the best drumming institutions in the world. That's not something that everybody can say. And I have all that knowledge right here waiting for you. If you're serious about your drumming, the lesson site is there. And I'm there as well, ready to make sure you get the most out of the drumming experience and having drums in your life. Okay? I hope you will check out the Elite program. The most innovative curriculum there is comes from having the experience from teaching all over the world, drummers at every level from the highest drumming cultures on the planet. What you're going to need to participate is a way to interact with me online. You need to have a drum set up with your camera, your phone, or whatever. It has to sound halfway decent, and a good Wi-Fi connection so we have uninterrupted streaming. Now, as far as the price goes, if you use PayPal, you can break up the payments. PayPal offers you a variety of ways you can pay. You can use your credit card, and if you don't have access to those things, just write me and we'll figure out a way. But this is a very important program and I think you're gonna love it. It's not a common opportunity to study drums, so I hope you'll take it and make the best of it. All right, folks, see you on the Elite program. Peace.